We are back on the land today, and as you can see by my hair and my shirt, it is extremely windy. We are dealing with 30 miles per hour winds right now, and I'm sure they're only going to increase throughout the night. And so I'm here today to safeguard my plants from this wind because it is stripping the ground of the moisture and it is drying them out way too fast. If you've been following this vlog for a while, you'll know that this is one of our challenges. The lack of trees in the distance, the lack of windbreak makes it really hard for things to thrive because of the moisture that gets taken out of the ground. Now, luckily, when it comes to the trees, they are still thriving. In fact, this one is doing even better than I expected. And that's only because I was able to provide some type of windbreak and sunbreak for them. However, even this seems to be falling apart. Things are blowing everywhere. All of the leaves have dried up, and so this is getting very exposed, and I don't want that. Remember that these nabo pits that I built are supposed to replicate a forest situation. And in a forest, there would be windbreak. There would be new trees growing amongst, different other plants and fighting for the sunlight. And so I'm going to mimic that condition here by covering up most of it and just leaving a small space for it to force it to shoot up. The one beautiful thing about this wind is that these seed heads are going to be dispersed really far. Each seed head contains about 100 seeds, and it's going to help this plant spread without me having to do it myself. Oh man. Now, some of the ways that we are going to be protecting them is by utilizing the natural elements here on the land. You guys know I like to use the resources that I have around me. So I'm going to be going around and I'm going to be cutting up a lot of these creosote bushes and using that as cover. I'm also going to be going over to our compost pit and bringing some cover around our plants. So as you can see, I have a pretty busy day ahead of me. It's just me by myself. But I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to volunteer. So right now, if you go over to our website, we officially have our dates set up to where you can volunteer. We have 3 dates in July alone with more dates in August coming. And I would love to see you guys out here on the website. It shows you, what we're gonna need from you, what we're asking for people. And also when you give us your email, we're gonna be sending out all the information on how to get here, what to bring, what to expect, and you'll be a part of that kind of email list that I'll keep updated on the plants, the projects, and things like that. And that is, of course, at the link in the description below this video. I wanted to give you guys a quick little update on our flowering shrubs. As you can see, these little pops of color, it is the summer solstice. It is officially summer, and they are actually still flowering, and it's the only thing still flowering out here. Nothing else has flowers. Most of the things that are out here have gone to seed, and even though these have gone to seed, they continue to give us new flowers. And if you look at this guy, this is really promising. This is a completely new shoot. This was not here originally. Okay, the original plant was over here. This was a part of it too. But as you can see, a new shoot is popping up here. A new shoot is popping up here, and it already has a flower. And so this is really exciting. I guess the compost tea, the nutrients in it, is really feeding these plants. This plant over here looks like it's setting up its own patch of new growth. A lot of these are new as well. And so these plants are doing great. The only one that's not doing so great is the poppy, which I'm really sad about. I really wanted this to grow. It looks like it really tried, and it still is trying, but it's just a little too dry out here. There's not enough humidity, or maybe I just don't water it often enough. Everybody gets watered every 7 days, and the trees and the bushes seem to love it. The poppy's the only one that's maybe just a little bit more sensitive to the drought. Now, the real reason why I can keep these plants flowering, even though we're in the middle of the desert, there's not much nutrients in the ground. I only water them once a week, so every 7 days, and yet they keep on giving flowers and seeds. The real reason is the thing that I'm holding in my hand. You see, this, my friends, is my lovely homemade compost tea. And if you are a gardener or familiar with these kinds of things, you would know that this is a nutritional powerhouse. Think of it like a multivitamin for your plants. It's something that I've been using on the land for quite some time now, and I use it at my house, of course, to get all of my beautiful flowers and fruits. The process of making it is not fun, but the benefits outweigh all of the negatives. And I truly believe that without this secret ingredient, these would not be able to thrive out here. Found something very interesting on our bird stand. And at first I thought it was like a piece of cotton or something like that. Some leaves that were jumbled up together. But it turns out when you look closely that this is a piece of stool. This is a dropping. And when you look even closer, I found broken bones. And so this looks like it could be of an owl or a, falcon or hawk or something like that. So this is pretty interesting. So I'm just going to assume that those birds might have used this as a spot to perch and a spot to just look out to their prey. It wasn't too far from, where we kept our fruit and our veggie scraps. So, that could have been the setup for it. I apologize. As I'm setting up the bird feeder, you can see the ants in action, completely destroying the plant, getting inside of the plant and eating the sugars of the plant and just taking it over. And this has been the, fate of most of our greens. The herbivores aren't really even able to get to them, like the groundhogs and the ground squirrels, things like that. They're not able to get to them because the ants completely take it out. And so sadly, these corns probably aren't going to make it. I'm still going to water them so that their roots can still somewhat grow, but if they don't, I'm not mad at it. They did their job. The next planting season, things will be better. There'll be more greens. They won't be able to attack just a few greens that we have, and overall things are going to be a lot better.
So I ended up going home a little early because of the wind and my phone losing battery. So when I came back the second time, I'm glad I took a different route because I actually found a great place to source seeds from some trees like this beautiful palo verde tree. It had plenty of seed pods, and also from these desert willow trees, which were gorgeous. I would love to have those on the land. I came home with a lot of seed pods and I was going to start planting them soon on the land. But my favorite thing about this place was the mulch that I could find. All the fallen leaves that the pines and the willows and the palo verdes could leave behind. They are very abundant in leaf litter. So this is what is missing on the land. This is what is going to help protect those plants and protect the soil and help keep the moisture in. Now, before you guys go crazy in the comments about the fact that I'm using pine needles, I want to explain, if you guys haven't watched the earlier episodes where I already show you guys and prove to you guys that I can grow with pine needles. In fact, I believe they do a great job in giving the soil some extra needed nitrogen. And also it acidifies this already alkaline soil. So I found it to be actually very beneficial to the soil, and it's a part of the reason why these trees are able to grow. In fact, it is a part of the very foundation of this Nabo pit. the pine needles were stored in our compost for many months and then transferred into this knobble pit when it was first created. Personally, I love them because they are very accessible, especially in the LA County area. I can find them almost anywhere in abundance, and nobody will be mad if I am picking these guys up off of sidewalks and parks and so on. I've also found them to be really beneficial when you have a situation like this where there's high winds. They do a really good job in clumping up together, especially when wet. And they do a pretty good job not being carried by the wind because they're so thin. They are needles as compared to larger leaves that get easily carried by this vicious wind that we have. So pine needles have been a game changer for us. Of course, we will always experiment with more, but pine needles have been awesome for us. Check out these corns, guys. It only took them 1 week. These harvester ants only needed 1 week from the beginning part of this video to destroy these corn plants. But I thought to myself, that's okay, because this is who I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for the population that is already here, the population that was here before me, and of course the population that will exist after I leave these lands. And today I had a full-on show. I have been experiencing so many different animals, so many different animal spirits on the lands, from different types of bugs to little rodents like this guy. We nickname him Djibouti because he is always showing us his behind on our camera. As you can see, he's right in front of the camera, and he, is perfectly comfortable with us. This is the closest that he's ever gotten. It's really cool how comfortable they are, being on the land and utilizing the things that we have. The coyotes have come back to utilize the fountain. The bunnies are always eating our fruits and vegetables that we leave out for them. And everybody's having a great time. They are leaving out a lot of their droppings. They are balancing out the ecosystem and fulfilling the goals of the entire project. And I'm grateful that you guys are on this journey with me. If you want to find out how we got to this point, then go ahead and hit that playlist button, and I will see you guys on the next video.